Okay guys, welcome back to the stream. Thank you all for joining. I can see a few people have joined from yesterday's stream as well. Good to see you all. Alright, let me know if the audio sounds good as well, because I did mess around a bit earlier. Hello Sheik, nice you to join by. So today we are going to carry on as we did the other day and just work on the map. So we're going to do some more of these cliffs and using a new technique to try and make them look like this, I guess, which I think looks so much better than the terraforming, which is just a little bit too round for my liking. I'm not sure, did you see that video, Sheik, about the cliff faces? Let me know if you, if anyone in the chat watched that video. All right. I haven't watched it yet, it's in my queue. Okay, cool. Well, you'll get, if you're watching now, you'll get to see a little bit of how it all works. So it's a good little method of just creating one nice cliff faces like these versus these, and also a nice little way to make little mini rocks in the sea. So if we, for example, did this, we can then use this and like basically use it as a road network and adjust the shapes and get some really unusual looks and pretty much make that into like a little, you know, a little cliff or rock poking out the water. And then we worked alongside Ivania to do the cliffside faces as well. So she's done some beautiful white ones, similar to the ones she's done for Monaco and the other pack she's done, but she's done one that suit Mr. Miyagi's theme as well, which I'm using for this series. So that's one cool thing that we can do. We can add little rocks in the ocean, but also let's get back to the network. What's more impressive is the way you can really define these seawalls, well, sorry, these cliffs. So if we do this to start with, is this England? It is England, yes. So basically, if we put that down there and then we grab all the nodes and raise it up to where we want the cliff to be. So the tallest part will probably be there. The smaller part will be a bit further down here. Let's move this down. So we've got the cliff level. Enjoys, excellent. Is it the set of Broadchurch? What do you mean, Sheik? I'm not too sure what you mean by that. But yeah, this is how this works. So basically, as you see, we've got these nodes. And now what we can do is we can basically move the segments around to make some really interesting cliff faces. But it looks good like this, but what we can do as well, similar to the way we work with the roads, if we add more than one node on one segment, so there we've got two more nodes. If we delete that one and delete this one as well, if we now move into where the segments are, the more we move this at a smaller segment, the more unusual sort of shapes we get in the cliffs. So we've got that sort of like jaggedness that you don't get with terraforming, which I think works really well. The BBC series with David Tennant. I've actually seen that. I'll have to look at that on the internet. But yeah, you can see you can really get some unusual shapes, and the more aggressive we get, the more unusual the sort of cliff faces become, which in my eyes looks so much more realistic than the terraforming that we had to use before. There is a bit of an overlappy bit here, but just adds to the look, in my opinion. They had the big cliffs like what you're making, which look awesome. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I just think it just makes the cliff faces look so much more irregular. Landscape Building Simulator Part 2. It is Capen, it is. So yeah, so that's the sort of plan now. I'm using mostly this method to create the cliffs because they're the main, the main part of the map really, and I think they need to look the part. I will keep some terraform because you do still get some nice looks using the terraforming methods, but for the majority of it I think I'm just going to carry on using this technique because one, it's easier to do, and two, I think it just adds to the realism really. You can get these really nice sort of gouges in there as well, just here, just from doing small segments. And the more you move them around, the more you're going to get some unusual looking shapes. And the good thing is the land around you, you can then terraform anyway. So we've got this little cliff here, which I don't really want to have. So if we move in to the terraforming tool and basically copy this, we can then get rid of this anyway, so it all matches up as it should do. So despite we're not terraforming on that segment, we're still able to terraform around it, which obviously makes life a lot easier. And then we can completely remove the cliff. Obviously in an ideal world I won't put the roads down yet because that does affect the terraforming slightly, but we should be able to get away with it. And some of these bits we can keep anyway because there are going to be buildings around it and pathways, etc. Which, talking of pathways, actually, Mac Welshman is working on something that I sort of mentioned in the last stream. He's working on some very small and thin trail tracks, which if you don't know what they are, I'm sure he won't mind me just showing a very quick view of one. What were they called? Let me have a quick check. Coastal. So basically he's working on these as well, which are going to be really useful for this series. Ignore the fact it's not quite matching to the land. Yeah, that's still in progress. But he's done the same as he's done to the rural roads, and done basically a pedestrian path version of it as well, which looks really good. And again, it's got the foliage around it, so we're not going to lose out on the prop count. And also I did request this. I requested really thin roads, pathways, because if you look at the difference between those and, for example, a normal pedestrian path, in my opinion, they're a little bit too big. So the difference now is obviously, quite a lot slimmer than what there once was. He has obviously done some larger ones, but the really slim ones are going to work really well going around this area here, because there's a lot of tracks we're going to have around this part where the walking is, because there's no buildings, nothing here really. So keep an eye out in the workshop for that. It'll be, I don't know when he's going to complete it fully, but it's obviously in the works. Let me reduce this down. Hello Liam Covers, welcome to the stream. But yeah, I think that's going to be a really good addition. Hey Pug Gaming, don't read the chat. Why am I not going to read the chat? So yeah, I think that's looking good. I really like this bit. This bit really pops out to me. And we can still carry this on as well, on the same part of this cliff face. So let's finish this cliff face and get this one done first. And I'm hoping you're enjoying the cube sky that I've got. Very typical for the UK. Probably the most realistic thing about this build so far. From Poland, okay. Alright, let's get back onto these networks then. So these ones we've done. That's now done. We're over here. We've done these ones. Done up to there, so we've got to finish off this segment now. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dover, close to it, close to it. How's the pup? The pup's good. The pup's underneath the desk at the moment. I'll see if I can. Where's my camera? If I can sort my camera out, I'll give you a quick look of what he's doing. I think it's. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can do this quickly. Give him his moment in the limelight. Let's see if I can get this set up quickly. Let's have a look. So basically at the moment he's underneath my desk. So let's see if I can get this to work. Where is it? Yes, puppers. Right, let's have a look. Let's see if we can get this to work. There he is. So he's basically just fallen asleep underneath my desk. Bailey. That's the little boy. Just chilling. He'll just be asleep there for until I move, basically. But anyway, this is a City Skylines stream. Let's take the limelight away from the little puppy. And let's finish off these cliffs. Expect to see a pug. Well, I know it's a bit of a letdown. Well, in my opinion it's not, because I think he's a much more attractive dog than a pug, but obviously the pug gaming is what my name is, so I understand that one. Hi Rem. So who here does have a dog, and if so, what breed is it? Let's ask that question before we move away from dogs. That's interesting as well. You get some interesting shapes from just pulling these off as well. Let's do that one there. Let's do another one here. Okay, so now we can delete these. And then we'll go back to here and just move the nodes. We won our first esports competition last night, 4-0 sweep on Overwatch. Students were so excited. Oh, awesome. I did see the stream start and then it disappeared, so I'm not sure if I caught the end of it and it just finished as I turned off. Well, that's excellent. Was you involved in any of that as well in terms of the stream, or was it just you? Was you just there for moral support? Let's get a few more little bits done here. I live in an apartment. Okay, well you can always get a dog in an apartment, can't you? I want a dog, but I live in a tiny apartment. Yeah, you can. I guess it depends on what size dog you have and what the needs are of the dog. Obviously, you've got to do it for the benefit of the dog. Alright, so I think that bit needs to be pulled in a bit. So Sheik, when you said you streamed it, did you stream it in the sense of you was talking over and doing the commentary, or you just was in control of all the buttons? There you go. I think that looks a lot better, doesn't it? It looks a lot more realistic in my opinion. Same, but I'm going to move to a house. There you go. That's a perfect reason to, you know, to celebrate moving into a house, then, isn't it? To get yourself a dog. And it's big. Well, there you go. You can get 2 dogs. Right, let's sort out the terraforming. I'm going to save it once. Now we've done that cliff face. Alright, let's have a look. So I was in spectator mode and was behind the scenes. I don't know how to play. How the play-by-play works for... Okay, that's cool. I'll have to watch the rerun if there's one on the channel. Be interesting to see how it's all set up. Alright, that's that done then. Let's get back into the terraforming and get rid of the water that's appeared here. Try and level this off. And the good thing is now, because we've now put down these bits, the only thing that's moving here is actually the terraforming. The actual work that I've just done won't go anywhere. So this also adds another element to what we've just built. If it was City Skylines competition, I'd dress up in a tuxedo to the play-by-play in grand style. That would be awesome. I think you should do that now. That'd be really funny to watch. Let's turn the brush sense down a little bit here. For some reason, we need to try and raise this bit up a bit. I live in a village in a house, but I moved to apartment to another city. Okay. How come you moved? Was it for work or a better place? I'm hoping now that should have eliminated the water issue we just had. Did you learn this cliff technique on your own, or did one accept a tutorial? No, I learned it on my own. To be fair, actually, it was during one of the streams a couple of days ago. I was trying to find a way to make these better. Because before I was using the terraforming tool, and it was actually Mac Welshman that said try using a road, and then I remembered we had these terraforming networks, and I pretty much just went like that in the water, and I was like, okay, well that's the answer. Let's see what we can do with it. And as soon as I worked out you could move it around and change the segment and get some really unusual shapes. Once Savannah had finished working on her decals to go on top, it was a non-brainer really. It just all put together nicely. And I was already working with Mr. Miyagi for the theme. So the theme itself was there, and to be fair, the theme itself, without even doing this method, looks really good. Like, I mean, if you just look at these bits here, this is without the technique. This is purely just his theme, and it just looks really nice anyway. And I mean, what I've been doing is I've been adding some of the cliff faces from Avania like randomly across in certain areas. So when there's like a big gouge or a big area that would accommodate something like that, I'd just plop it in, like in this corner here. I'd probably just put something in here, maybe, if it fits. I didn't want to do the whole place like this. I didn't want to fill up the whole wall, basically. I think it'd be a bit too much. And there's obviously certain bits that look better than others as well. So here I'm not really getting a good enough look that I want, so I probably won't do that. Okay, see you later, Tagball. Nice for you to pop by. So yeah, some of these sections, like here, actually, that doesn't actually look too bad, so I will plop that here. But the good thing is they do blend in really well with each other. In fact, that doesn't look too bad either. So when you're looking around, some of these bits, I'm using Avania's cliff faces, and other ones we just left it to what Mr. Miyagi's already built for us. So it's a nice variance to have. See, I mean, if I put one here, I'd have to fill the whole thing in from what I'm looking at here. Let's change the direction of the sun as well, because that does make a big impact to these cliffs because they're so white. Depending on what it is, I mean, I've still not really thought of the best LUT to use either. Been going through quite a few of these. The natural one is the best one so far, but I've not really experimented too much. Like, that brings out more of the green, but that makes it darker. It's difficult at the moment to know what to use, so I'm just going to build the map first, and then we'll work on the best LUT after, and maybe we'll I'll do a poll and see what everyone thinks is the best one, because there's no right or wrong answer really at the moment. It's we're just playing it as it happens. But yeah, we've got those bits in. I'm happy with that. Did I do any here? Is there a river? There's little rivers, yes. I'll show you in a second. Did I do this? We've done that. We have done a bit there. Let's pull 2 segments out of this bit and finish off this line. Actually, I think we're going to do that next, the river, because I want to use this same technique to do the river. Because the terraforming for rivers is really hard, so I think I can use this method again to utilise this. So let's do that now. So the rivers they've got this long one here and another one in this segment. So let's start with this segment because this is an easier one. So what we're going to do, we are going to straight away jump into the terraforming network, and I'm going to try my best to go and follow this path. So if we start from here, let's go across. We're going to move it all in eventually to make it look nice and smooth, etc. So I'm not too fussed about that. But if we just get it to the length that we want, what we can now do is, firstly, we can line this up to one side. Because the thing I don't like about the terraforming is you can see all the ugliness underneath here because it's quite shallow, which is going to make things difficult. So if we try our best to match what we see here, we'll try and get it to match one side first. And I'm hoping, I've not tried this yet, but I hope that it's going to do what I'm thinking it's going to do. Poppy Elo the Destroyer, thank you. Fantastic was able to catch a stream. Yes, she was. Welcome, welcome. So let's try this first. What I'm going to do, I'm going to jump into the terraform, and I'm going to cover up this river completely with the terraform. So let's grab the node there, and increase the brush size and strength, and let's just completely cover this up. That worry, all will become evident shortly why we're doing this. So let's go to about here, like that. Okay, so we now have no river, and what we're going to do now is, you've probably already guessed it, but we're going to grab every single node that we have on this, like so, and we're going to drop it down. And I'm hoping what this is going to do is going to give us a channel that's going to look a lot more appealing to us. We can move it around a lot easier. We can almost, we can pretty much make tiny lakes now using this way, and it's just so much cleaner than using the terraforming tool. I want to make this double the size, and it looks like I've missed a node here, which is annoying, but what we can do is the 2 nodes we've missed, we can highlight them and we can align it to the same as the others just here. Hey man, are you building Portsmouth as well? Probably not. I may eventually, possibly, I'm not too sure yet. I mean, Portsmouth is over here, but for now I'm just going to concentrate on this island itself. But yeah, that's what we're doing here. So as you can see, if we get the game to play, this should now be a very nice river stroke little lake, which I think looks and works really well. And I think up here is a lot of thinner lakes, which I think we can probably use with a single one like this. The only thing I need to work out is obviously the water levels. Because obviously now it's going to have floods because of the way the game mechanics works for water. But I'm hoping if we jump into the water side of things, we can hopefully see. So you can see there, look, there we go. So looking at the way the water is going to work, it is just going to sit in this channel, which is perfect. I think that's what it's showing. It's not showing it overlapping, is it? So I think the water level is going to be perfect for this. We need to raise up some of this. I think that's what it's showing us, but we'll wait until the water clears. That's right, Popilio, that's correct. So let's try and speed this up a little bit and get the water moving. I'm hoping this is going to be a much cleaner way to make a little river stroke lake into the island. Talking of weather, look at this. Didn't even know I had the weather turned on, but it's pretty much replicating the UK pretty well now, isn't it? Let's turn that off. So there we go. So that seems to be working. I just want to do some terraforming around this segment. Because we kind of want this to all now be the same level. So if we, let's go back and turn the speed back to normal. If we now were to use this and go up to it, we can now cover up those gaps. Perfect. The road will have to adjust as well, but that's not a problem. We'll do that after. Yes, I am Popilio. That's the plan. Not like for like, but going to use it as a big inspiration for the build. I'm off to work. Lovely cliff work. I'm definitely going to use that technique. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you later. Cheers, Sheik. Nice of you to pop by, and have a good day at work. We'll catch you soon. Right, so now if we raise up the road like that and like that, this should now all be level. And technically what we can do, we can probably raise this up as well if we need to. This we can drop down more. Are we going to lose this water? Is this going to disappear eventually? I believe the road is high enough up. Raise up a bit more then. I'm excited to see the Isle of Wight steam railway if you decide to make it. Oh yeah, I'll definitely try and do that for sure. Whereabouts is it based in the Isle? What area? I'll have a look and see what it looks like. I've not actually looked at that side of things yet. Alright, so that's not looking too bad. I mean, we could even drop the whole level down a bit more, couldn't we? For example, if we were to grab this, which will also lose that whole bank. What do you mean F1 sub? You trying to say the stream's gone down? So I think if we do this, hopefully the water will still stay where it is. That looks a lot cleaner. I'm not sure, we may have to lower it down a bit more, mightn't we? It's not off though, is it, that high? In fact, it's filling up again, that might be alright. Just at the end of the part you're doing now. Oh, what, by ride is it? Let's have a look. So, Isle of Wight Steam Railway. Let's have a look on Google. Isle of Wight Steam Railway. Let's have a look. Is it a museum as well then, or is it an actual railway station? Just trying to find it on Google. So it seems to be the next bit across. So it's not this one, it's that, oh no, yeah, is it that one? Yeah, it is actually, sorry, yeah, it is this one, isn't it? Yeah, so it's kind of here, I think, isn't it? This segment. That's what it seems to say on Google Maps. Are there any car ferries in City Skylines, or are you going to do a hidden tunnel? I think there are car ferries, I believe, yes. They work in the fashion that we would expect them to, you know, in real life. I'm not sure the animation has been created like that. But there are definitely ferries. I'm not sure if any will show up here. I've got a hovercraft ready as well for ride, where the hovercraft crossing is. But we'll get to the exciting bits of ferries a bit later on. Search Haven Street Station. Okay, let's have a look. Or Haven. Is it Haven Street Station? Let's have a look. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I can see that now. Yeah, so it is literally just past this river bit by Wootton Common. Yeah, so Fishbourne is the main place that I normally come in at, which is what we're doing here. This is the Fishbourne bit. So where Fishbourne is, the ferry I think comes in around this bit here, where Fishbourne is. So it comes in this section. So we need to build this land out again at some point to accommodate the ferry port with the really fancy tall bridge that it has for cars to get up on. So we'll definitely work on that and try and replicate that as best we can. But for now, I just want to concentrate on a little rivery bit, a little watery bit. I think looking at how the game's working, that actually works out quite nicely, this method. Looks a lot cleaner as well, which is good. Let's try and clean this corner up as well. Open that up a little bit more there. Okay, so this right hand side is the bit that we're happy with, so that's good. We can then move this road back down to a better level, like so, because there will be a bridge going across this as well. I'm guessing if we were to raise this down further, we get the white back. Okay, so the higher it is, the less white we get. We could put some decals down anyway, so that's not a problem. What I'm going to do now is basically copy what we've done already, just here. What I'm going to do it segment at a time. So this one's done here. We're going to basically lay it right next to it to about here. So this is just a quicker way now for us to build it up. So if we get the level terrain, click the same height, and then carry on what we was doing over here. Actually, it's that, isn't it? So this actual bank is a bit higher up at the moment. It's not in real life, I assume. But we can work that out. So this does come to more of a point anyway, so this needs to come inwards. Okay, so that's not too bad. Actually, it's not far off height-wise. No, it's not too bad, is it? Okay, let's go back to this, and then we'll copy this segment. Did that work? How's it so small? No, it's right. Just goes up to here. Put that there. And then we can drag this node over. We can find it. We'll do the same on this segment as well. So let's grab this node and pull this one right over as well. So now we've got a bit more of a realistic height and level off. We have got this dip in the middle, but we can obviously get rid of that as well by adding in another one. So we just copy that and drop that down there, covers up that hole. And the same here, we can probably go like that. Okay, so that looks all right. I'm happy with that. So let's now go back to the terraforming. Level off this segment as well. So grab that height and do exactly the same as we did a minute ago. Something like that. We can blend the other bits in after. I'm not too fussed about that for the time being. Just want to get this bit looking realistic. I assume that's because there's two nodes. Like that, there we go. And if we blend this in to the rest of the terrain, lose the whiteness. Now, does anyone know what the bridge looks like over this part of the island? I just thought, I don't think there's any English steam trains in the workshop. I'm not sure actually. I haven't actually looked for a steam train. If anyone wants to have a look and see if they can find one for me, let me know. I'd be more than happy to have a look at what you found. Yeah, I must admit I've not actually looked for any steam trains yet. Let's drop these nodes down a little bit more, especially this one. Nope. Is that a note 2? There's none on there, K-Ben. Okay, so that's that. Let's blend in this section as well. Not sure if there is a train that operates on the Isle of Wight either. I think there is trains, Liam. I swear there is actually a train station and actual trains, isn't there? I may be wrong. I've not ever gone on one, but I've seen there's a train station at Shanklin, for example. And I've never actually seen a train go there, but I assume there must be trains. We have a look as we see. Let's just do this quickly before I forget. I'm probably going to have to pull that terrain out completely so it's a bit better leveled off. Let's make that like that and just pull this back. I don't mind building on a bit of a terrain around the this part, but we don't want to go into Monaco style here. They use old London Tube stock EMUs on a small line from the pier somewhere inland. Yeah, there is. I think there is just literally one line back and forth, isn't there? It's not like it goes off different places. It's very limited to where it goes. Let's have a look. Let's go to Isle of Wight train line. Let's see what that actually is, shall we? See if there's any images. I think the bridge is kind of concrete. Okay, let's see what we've got. So I've found a picture on Google of train stations. There seems to be quite a lot. I'm not sure. I think that's not actually a proper one. Yeah, it looks like it goes from Ryde down to Shanklin. That's it. Not sure if I can get you to see this. Let's have a look. Yeah, so it looks like this is what it is. Got the Ryde pier, and it just goes down to Shanklin, which is where I said I saw it. That's where I've seen a train station. I've not seen one anywhere else. But yeah, it looks like it's just this segment then, maybe. Yeah, looks like it, doesn't it? And there is a floating bridge. Where's the floating bridge, Liam? So I'm guessing these are the trains that they have. Island train. So at least we've got something we can try and find. We probably won't find something exactly the same as these trains, because they're obviously very unique to the island. But you said there's a floating bridge. Isle of Wight floating bridge. Oh, do you mean one of these? Okay. Oh yeah, cows. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So where is that? If we go to maps, can we see whereabouts it actually is? Okay, so it's here. I'm not sure if we'll be able to replicate that, but okay, so it's in between here. So where is cows on my game? Okay, so the floating bridge is there. So on my map, well, on my game, I've actually done it as an actual bridge from a vehicle bridge, but it's not actually that, is it? It's a floating bridge. But there's nothing like that on the workshop. Is there a floating bridge? Because what I've done is I've basically done a road going across here. I didn't realise it was an actual chain bridge going across. That's interesting. So we have a look. I don't think there will be anything on Steam, but no, there's not going to be anything we can use, I don't think, is there? We'll have to just do it as a bridge. Floating trees. That's quite interesting. We'll sub to that. Right, okay. Well, that, at least we know that is something we can work on. So yeah, this is the bridge. This is what I put down. I put down an actual bridge, but like you say, it is actually a floating bridge. But yeah, the best engine I can find for the steam railway would be the VSM Rail Museum train. Let's have a look then. A quick check on the workshop again then. This one. Okay, yeah, that works. Let's up to it anyway, and let's have a look. Yeah, Liam, yeah, a normal bridge will be fine for now. Oh, help if I spell it correctly, won't it? What's this one? That's a train station. There's only if we type in UK trains, what comes up? Is it the typical London trains? So yeah, I think I'll have to spend a bit of time, I think, looking for suitable trains, etc. for the series. But that's a minor detail. Let's crack on with the map. So I think this looks pretty good now. I'm happy with this. The banks will, I'm guessing, well, what are the banks going to be like for here? Are they going to be concrete all the way around, I guess, aren't they? 'Cause it's not going to be a bank in that sense, because I think there's stuff around this area. So I imagine we'd have to put some sort of a key around it to fill it in. In which case, that doesn't actually matter if this is white or not, does it? Because You have to search under vehicles. Yeah, that's why I couldn't find it, wasn't it? Thanks, K-Pen. Okay, so I'm happy with the height. The water is, I think, enough really for us to care about. Hey Paywell. Welcomed by handsome canal. That is true. We're working on something a little bit different today. We're using the same technique as we learnt on those cliffs, and we're actually doing the opposite. We're going underground, as you see here, to create much nicer looking sort of canals, but with still, you know, a bit of terraforming around it to make it a bit better. So let's have a look. I'm just going to look on Google Maps on the other screen quickly. The water does seem to be disappearing quick. I'm wondering whether that's because we've got it too high up. Well, no, actually no, because look, the water level here is perfect for this. I think it's just trying to catch itself up in the simulations. Let's just give it a little bit of speed for a bit and see what happens. We can lower it down if we need to. I think I found the bridge. Excellent, Liam. Drop me the link. We won't be able to use it right this moment. But if I've already got it, that'd be ideal. Oh, there we go. So that it doesn't take long for the water to get itself back on track. No pun intended there. Talk about trains. But yeah, what did you find, Liam? It seems to be on an embankment. Okay. So can we get away with putting some keys around this, do we think? Maybe just a basic key around. What's this one? I'm just working on a custom sunken train station with modular station project as well. Oh, excellent. That sounds pretty damn exciting. What do you think, Liam? Do you think we can get away with just having something like this around it? Just to add, you know, this side of things. Can't wait to see your city start appearing on the map. Yeah, it's gonna be great, isn't it? Yeah, we need to get the map done first, but yeah, I can't wait for that either. What do you reckon, Liam? Something like this? I think that would work, wouldn't it? You can get keys with brick textures. That is a good point. Do we think the brick textures would look better than this concrete? Would brick textures work for this area? Because those bricks, I think, are more orangey bricks, aren't they? Looks close. Okay. Are those brick ones on my game at the moment? No. Are keys classed as networks? I think they possibly are. Will the Monaco one look out of place? What do you reckon? That's attached itself to that node, isn't it? Do you think the Monaco ones would work here, guys? Let me just get it so we can actually see it. Or is that a little bit too much in terms of the texture? I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but what looks more sort of British? I'm guessing this. I don't know really. We could have a look on the workshop and see if there's any better keys, couldn't we? That suit this area more. Oh, they've got quite a few. Looking at images, it's kind of brown. Okay, well let's jump up back over here to my other monitor, because there are some on the workshop that may be better suited. What will you be building in that area? I need to look, to be fair, Paywell. I know there is stuff there. We've got these sort of ones as well. The top surface can be cobblestone pavers. Yeah, that's true. The first one seems more similar. What the network one stone key? I don't think I've subscribed to this one, so we can't use it today. But what do you reckon? This one? It does look nice. Let's sub to it because we can always try it out, can't we? The key should match whatever's around. That is true. I don't think that one suits. That one maybe not. Has it got fences? Should we get the fence one as well and see what that looks like? Is there a double layer like this one? Old stone key. There's another good one, I think. Let's get a few of these. So I'm not bothered about finding the right one to put in today. It's just useful to get your guys' ideas and thoughts on it. I like the ones with the fences around it as well, because it kind of keeps it quite clean and realistic and safe, I guess. I think those ones from Avania are going to be the winners. It's just a case of which one we end up using. So for right now, I don't mind having these in. We'll leave those as they are for now. So the water just keeps going. It's really annoying, even though it is right. I think it's because we're messing around with the terrain so much. It's going in and out sort of thing. There's a town there. Well, actually, yeah, Fishbourne's here, isn't it? Fishbourne is this area, and I'm guessing there's something else here. I think it's Fishbourne because this is where the ferry comes in at Fishbourne. So I assume this area is Fishbourne. But yeah, we'll worry about that later. This is in, so maybe now we just move over to this part and do the same here. Put in the same technique. With the network keys, well, sorry, network terraforming network. By the way, a lesson I learned recently: if you're using network skins, you can't change your workshop subscription while the game is running, or change. Yeah, I did used to have the mod that allowed you to do that, Powell, but it stopped working after a while, and I've kind of just accepted that, so I don't really do that anymore. But it's useful to know that if that's an issue. Yes, Fishbourne is on the coast there. Yes, that's right. Okay, so let's get rid of this bridge for now. And did you say, Liam, it was a concrete bridge that you saw for one part? I can't remember which bit that was for. Was it this bit round? Where was it? Was it this one? Was this the one you were saying? You said you found a concrete wall, concrete bridge. Have you got a link to that in the workshop? Let's try and get this as close as we can. Cheers. Yes, it was concrete. I'll find it. Excellent, cheers, Liam. Saying that, we could just do the outskirts like this. It's only the outside we're trying to tidy up, really. Okay, so something like that. A lot smaller though. Did you post a link? Did that come up? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what you've done. Right. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Has it only got one arch underneath it, or was there a couple? Instead of using actual keys, you could use the retaining walls, the ploppable surfaces. That is true, Chesmin. That is, I wanted to try and avoid too much sort of plopping of ploppable surfaces to start with. For the map anyway, I wanted to keep the map a bit more solid so people can then do what they want and play the game themselves and play on the map. That's the sort of idea I'm going for. But what I'm going to do, now we've got the stencil in, we can then do the same as what we did earlier. Let's go to Terraforming. It has two, I believe. Okay, cool. Alright, Terraforming, copy this. And we're just going to fill in these gaps. Fill the gaps in. That. So at least the height seems to be good here. Right, so that's that. So let's wait for the water to sort itself out. This is the annoying thing about the game when you've got to wait for this to happen. I'm saying it whilst it's doing it. Let's grab those nodes. Is that on there still? Okay. Hopefully that's doing what I need it to do. It's obviously quite difficult to see with the water still here. Is it even doing anything? Okay, I don't think I picked it all up, did I? It's quite hard to see when it's like this. Let's do that one first. Does it do that, Chesme? I never really tried it, to be honest. I thought you had to then tamper with it. See, it doesn't do anything on mine. Am I doing something wrong? What do you do? Press the reset water to sea level button instead of waiting. Where's that? Was it in the bit I was in, Jasmine? Just the height of seawater, or is it in the options somewhere? But it's all, I'm all on about the water here, like drifting back. If that's what that does, perfect. Let me know. Otherwise, we've still got the issue of waiting for all this to move. He's clicking around the icon. You need to click on the round icon and then it will appear. What round icon do you mean? This one? Not sure what you mean, because that's a completely different thing on there. Am I missing a round icon? That's something different though, this bit. This is to place a water source. We don't want to do that. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. You're a star. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. That has saved me a lot of time. Appreciate that. Brilliant. So we should now be able to try and locate these nodes and do it properly. Thank you very much for that, Chesmin. Let's grab these, let's grab those, get these ones. Okay, so that's that down. Just need to now basically just finish that off and fill the gap in with some more of these, and then I think that should be good. this in a little bit, get it away from there. Okay, perfect. So now we should literally just be able to copy, for example, that, put that there, and put that there. Bit tricky though, actually, isn't it, doing the bigger bits? It's okay for the rivers. I wonder whether it would have been easier to keep it the other way round, but it's done now, so we'll keep it as it is. I don't think we can terraform between, can we? So it's going to have a gap. Is he going to let us? Oh, it does. Kind of. Is it working? Okay, well, it's even better then. We'd have to worry about that. We can just do the outline and then fill it in. Perfect. Let's just fill these bits in then. So basically we can use that as reference for filling in stuff. But when it comes to actually putting the water in, we'll use the terraforming mod to go up to the lines. Works out quite nice. Okay, so that's not looking too bad now then. Let's try and bring a bit of this away. So let's jump out of the terraforming tool and see what it looks like. So it will be obviously a bit messy at the moment because we haven't got any of the sea walls around it or anything, but it looks a lot better. Got the occasional sort of strange bit here, which we can just move those nodes to get rid of, like that. So I think that will do for that one. This one here is going to be the tricky and interesting one because there's a lot of different bits happening here. This will definitely need to have this method done. Faux show. But what we'll do is we're going to save it first because this is going to be a bit more trickier. But I'm quite pleased with how this water's working for us. It's going a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a long process to do, but what we're able to achieve is quite nice and easy to do. Let's go back onto here and get this first segment done. And what we want to do here is we're using this as the little tail of the water that's come out. So this is going to be a bit more unique. spike there, then comes back round. And what I like about this is there's lots of little lakes as well nearby, and I think we might be able to use this method to make some lakes. We'll have to see. But I think that is as good as we all need. So this is a spike coming off on this bit. So I think what we want to do, probably move that in there. That's going to come round and be filled in. That's another spike going off, which probably want to add a bit of character to and change the nodes a little bit. Same with that one, that's not too bad. Okay, so let's now what do we want to do first? Guessing we want to fill in the gaps. Let's go back to the terraforming tool. And we want to find the focal point of the height, which I assume is going to be about there. Just going to fill around. Like that. Now, thanks to Chesme, we can do this a lot easier by getting the water level back. So let's just fill this in. So it should hopefully look a bit more realistic now as well, and get that sort of fork look that it has. We need to obviously still lower this, but that's fine. Just realised as well I was using the wrong bit when I should be using that. Let's go back over there. Like that, and then the same around this bit. And then we can fill this in across here. Okay, so I think that's the best we'll get. So, next step is to learn what we learned earlier from Chesmin. Let's go to the water feature. Reset to the sea level. Perfect. Now we can grab these nodes. Grab that. Oh, we're grabbing the segments. Let's just go to the nodes. And go like that, 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 that. That as well. Great. Did I just lose them then? Oh, for God's sake. It's really hard to see the actual nodes when you grab them here on this stuff. There's one there. Any more hiding? I'm hoping that's all of them, and if not, we'll grab the other ones after. So let's bring this down. Till we get the water. Try and work out how far down we need to go here. To do that, we'll click on the water feature again. So that needs to go down a bit more, but that's not a worry at the moment because we are still needing to do that. Okay, so that's not actually looking that bad. We can now jump into the Terraform again. If we grab, what are we going to grab? Is it that? Oh, no, not that one. Like that, I guess. Let's make it smaller. Okay. Okay, we can remove this. Hopefully now that should give it a similar level that it wants to. Oh, okay, so that's quite high. So there is two different levels to this water, which I'm hoping won't cause issues once it fills up. Let's try and smooth these bits in. I think it should be okay. Let's do that bit. Like that. So hopefully now, jump back into the water. That's filling up where we want it to, which is good. Let's reset the water again. It's not actually too bad. I'm probably going to add a few more little spiky bits around. But for a starter, I don't think that's looking too shabby. So that's a good way of doing little rivers going through. It's probably the slimmest you can get, I guess, without really messing up the mechanics of the game. so over time these banks should go back to the green colour, just like it has here. So this is actually looking good now. Now we've got these bits done, I'm quite happy with that. This is the Fishbourne entrance. The ferry terminal is, what's this? Ferry terminal's here, I believe, or thereabouts. And I think we'll do a bit more of the cliffs before we finish for today. Can we tidy this bit up here as well? Okay, so let's bring down the strength. Just want to remove some of the nuggety sort of bits that have popped up here. Okay, so it looks much better now. There are some sand bits up here which we need to get rid of, so we'll do that as well. Let's go here and go on to the sand. So we don't want any sand here. Let's drop that down higher the strength because we don't want any here either. Okay, and also here we don't really want, but is that going to mess up? No, it's all right. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me now. Hopefully these bits we can blend in a bit better as well. So for you guys who are in the chat, is this, I mean, is the streaming going to be of interest when I start doing it all properly, or would you rather just wait for videos to come out on YouTube, for example? Do you want to see me building as we play, or do you just want to wait until they actually are ready to be published and released like we have been doing recently? We've got that one going down there. So technically there'd be a walkway going across here then. So I think we need to lower the island a bit here. Like for example, this road is a bit annoying at the moment in terms of the terrain, so we can get rid of that. Let's grab that height and bring it across. So yeah, it's quite a bit different, isn't it? No weight stream at all. I don't mind streaming some of it. Obviously there'll be times where I can't always stream. At the moment I can stream a bit more, but that time won't last forever. So I thought I'd make the most of it anyway. And also it means that I can build well, I can do the map a lot easier, because if you guys want to watch me build the map, it's going to push me more to complete it, and then we can start actually building on it, which is obviously the most exciting part about it all. Okay, so we know this is going to be good now. That's okay. She's got a cliff going, well, a pathway going down a cliff, and we'll probably want to do the same elsewhere as well. Probably from some of the lower points. Hey Seven, how are you doing? Haven't seen you around for a while. How have you been? Let's do the same with this road as well. Let's get rid of this bit. Blend some of these bits in as well. Work, work and work. Oh no. Well, I'm glad you found some time to pop by. It's been a long time since we've had a chance to talk in the chat. So that's not looking too bad now. And some of these beaches I'm probably going to do as stone. Not this one, obviously. This is quite a long, large one for that purpose. But I think we can probably do a little pathway down here as well. I'm watching your Monaco videos on YouTube. Oh, awesome. Excellent. How far behind are you? What episode number are you up to? Saved. Good, good, good. Let's see. Can we... I've watched all of them. Oh, awesome. That's good to hear. It's always nice to hear that people are still enjoying the series. It's been going for quite some time now. And things are starting to shape up a bit more now in Monaco. Which is why I've kind of been tampering with the idea of doing this series. Whether I've been wanting to do it for quite some time. But I kept thinking to myself, should I wait until Monaco's done? And then I thought to myself, well, Monaco's probably going to take a long, long time to actually complete. And it just gives me the opportunity to be a bit more productive, and I can start working on other aspects on a new series. I can do different things, which is always good. So yeah, that's why I've kind of done the other one now as well. Right, which ones of these can we raise up? So we can obviously raise that. I'm not sure if these, no, I think they are. And what we could actually do as well is do a lift. on one of these segments, because that is something there is on the island. There is a few lifts around as well. For this segment, we're going to do a path to there, to there, to there. So we should be able to plop that there. Let's get back onto that. Drop that to ground level. Oh. And then bring this one down as well. So that way we've got an actual pathway down to the beach from this end as well. Try and find the best placement for that. That's not too bad, I guess. That's the annoying thing, it goes to this really horrible road. So we have to try and think of something. Can we connect one of these to it? I think we'll be able to eventually. Should we do something like this? That's not too bad then, is it? We can live with that. Do I have a lift? I think I did have one at one point. It might have been in the Monaco series actually, I'm not sure if I got it in the British one. Lift. Not the lift that we want. Okay, never mind. But for now, that's not too bad. We got one entrance down. I'll probably put some of Vanya's rock cliff faces as well. Cliff face. Was it cliff side, isn't it? So we can kind of cover this bit then. Something like that. That doesn't look too bad. So it actually looks like you're coming down because of the rocks rather than It's just a random pathway in the way. I think it looks quite nice coming down there onto the beach. So we've got this one over here. We need to put a few more in, I think, because there's quite a long way between the one on and one off. So we'll have to do a few more of those. Hey Toxic, welcome to the stream. How are you, my friend? Let's do that. And I think what we can probably do as well, so if we've got one here, that works. We can then come and try and find, let's try and put one here. And we're going to try this out. We're going to go to the network, go to network terraforming, and on this node here, we are going to add 1, 2, 3, 4. And to be fair, if we can bend these around, I wonder if this could be a solution to getting people down. It actually is. We could do that instead. Good, excellent. So we could actually do this. Looks a bit more realistic. We can then hopefully put the path down it, and also it gives us a cliff underneath that area as well. So how aggressive can we be against the sea wall? So we could do something like that. And what we could do then perhaps is, can we then bring this one out more? Kind of. Okay, that works. So we've done it this way, but we can also do it another way. So we'll see what looks better. We'll see if we can get a path that goes straight across this or close to it. So let's go back to the paths. Something like that just for now. If we put that there, bend this round a little bit. So yeah, it doesn't work too bad. It's not as good as I thought it would look, because that still does mess with the terrain when we move these bits around. But if we go to something like that and then get the other part and bring it down here, drop the node right down. It's not too bad, is it? Certainly think we can live with it. It's steep, but it's hopefully not too steep. We can probably put something underneath this, like the cliff faces again. And I think as well, let's go to cliff So it's possible to put something underneath it. I just want to get it as close as possible so it kind of gives that look. So then we can hide this bit underneath here. Can we convert this to PO? No. Okay, so instead of that, if we were to go to cliff, so I want one that's not very steep. So if possible, we can just put these bits down here. Or we'll just put some foliage. Maybe we'll just do that. We'll put some foliage in that section. That's not such a bad idea. Yeah, that's not too bad. I don't mind that. Not sure what's going on with this little corner here. So we can go to about there. That's as far as we can go. What is this? Oh, is that the procedure object thing? Yeah. Okay, let's delete that. Okay, so that's not looking bad at all. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's looking good now. This little rivery bit here is looking good. Guessing if we grab these nodes, we can lose that as well. Yep, that's not bad. Okay, so things are getting together now. There's a lot more cliffs that we need to work on, but I'm happy with these cliffs, and we can put this road back in now. What one do we use? We went with the two-way 12 meter, was it? Guessing it's probably one of these. That one. Okay. that looks much better. You can imagine driving down there and seeing all these cliffs as well. What a view that would be. Seeing all these cliff faces, you get closer and closer. I hope I don't miss much. Sorry about that, I need to pop out for a bit. That's okay. We just we finished the rivery bits. And we've put a few little pathways down onto the beach now, so we've cut into the chalk. We're going to have some sort of foliage bits around these areas. But yeah, we put some of these sort of ramps down now to let people come down. Yeah, that's where we're pretty much, I think that's probably what all you've missed. Put some more sand in this gap because that's disappeared now. Probably going to stream for another 25 minutes, guys. So if you've got any questions or you want to discuss anything or ideas of what we can do, let me know. I want to get this map ideally completed in the next week or two. Obviously it doesn't matter if it's not 100% complete because I'm going to be playing on it anyway. It's not like it's once it's done, it's done. Looking good. Thank you, Pivlo. Not too bad. Sand's looking good. No more grass. There's a bit of grass here. Fill that in. Just hide this. Perfect. So we're going to bring back this sand as well. It doesn't need to be this high up. It's a bit silly. Let's bring this down, probably to level with the two cliffs. Say about here is probably enough for this beach. Probably a bit shorter actually. Put something in that. Is that a shadow? Is that something that's messed up? Is it? I think it's a shadow, isn't it? Yep, cool. So this side here is getting very close to being done. We're gonna probably have to add a few more little drop ways, but I don't mind doing that whilst we're actually playing the game. We've done this cliff face, that's all good. We need to do these, which is just going to be one long one really. It's not too much we need to worry about here. Let's give it another save. Maybe we just do that and then call that it for today. Let's do these cliffs here. So let's go and go to network, terraforming. We'll do these cliffs in the exact same way we've been doing the rest. And some of these beaches here aren't actually going to be like able for people to go onto. They are just purely beaches that have arrived, and unfortunately you can't get to them, so we've got a bit of a variance on those. Okay, so let's bring this up to start with. Okay, it's the same height as what the other cliff was. Okay, so that's that. Let's raise these all up to the same height. So some of these bits we can sort out at a later time. But I want to get the majority of the cliffs done at least, especially the shaft, the map itself. So I can change a bit of the height around here as well. Let's do that. I'm guessing this area here will probably be quite high up. Certainly in this corner, due to like weathering and the fact there's nothing else on this corner really. So we'll need to terraform the surrounding area as well once this is all leveled up. It's tedious, but it's definitely worth the effort, I feel. It really does make the cliff faces come to life. There, and we've got this one to play with. Let's move that across. I don't know about you guys as well, but I really do like this technique. It does really make these cliffs come to life. can probably hear my dog's woken up now, and he's getting a bit hyper because he knows at 5 o'clock, somehow his body clock is ridiculously accurate. He knows at 5 o'clock it's time for his you know what's. So I will be ending the stream shortly, but let's see if we can get these cliffs done first. Move this one down a little bit, it's a bit too high up. That's a nice bit. So I mean, sometimes you get these really unusual looks even from playing around with the angles. It's a bit too much, isn't it? You can do things like that and it really does make that cliff face look different. Unique. And bring that one across. This one can go back over as well. Down a little bit more, and sometimes just leaving it flat is as good as anything really. You don't always have to go and do this technique. Sometimes cliff faces are very much straight and flat. But the bits in the water I like doing like that because that's the bits where you are, you know they're going to get weathered quite a lot. So this face here, we will probably add the extra nodes in as well. So we'll go one there, we'll go one there, one there, here, here, and here as well. And then we will delete, like so. Back to move it, and this is where we're going to really get some very unusual shapes now. Okay, so yeah, that looks much better. So it's got that sort of weathered look now to it, from the sea corroding away at it, etc. Although I am going to lower this. Lower it down here. It was high originally, but I'm thinking, I suppose we can have these two, I guess, higher up, like a slight sort of pokey bit. But I don't want to do too much. Same with these bits. Let's drop this back down. And then we'll do a bit of moving around. Sometimes missing bits out, so if I just do, find a good spot that and miss that one out and then do this one, sometimes that looks good, or go in the opposite direction. giving a bit more front to it. Oh, okay, so this is a nice bit here. Something like that. Let's drop this node down a little bit. I think these are a little bit too high. Drop that onto there. Do we have one here? Let's drop this down a little bit as well. So that's pretty much that bit done, I think. So some of these beaches here I probably will do as stones because it's not going to be a luscious beach area. I mean, it could be, but naturally those sort of ones are the ones which wouldn't really bring any tourists towards it. So it's, you know, the sort of just washed up stones rather than a luscious golden beach that some of this island does actually have, which is really pleasant. Okay. Let's try and get some of this back to normal. So we want to try and get it so these circular patterns are more smooth, because that's when things are just they look nicer, and also it's easier to build on. I mean, this section here we're not going to be doing much building on anyway. Due to it being a cliff face and the sort of end of the island. But nonetheless, you still want to make things look nice despite not building on it. And some of these bits are a bit difficult to work with. So sometimes you need a lot higher up the area, the terrain first, before you try and smooth it. Like you can see here, not much is really happening, so we'll try and basically push that out a little bit. And then grab that tool again, and just doing that over and over does eventually hide it, and it does get rid of it, and using bigger brushes also helps that out, because you're basically just brushing it upwards, and the higher it goes, you're losing that texture. So some of these bits aren't too bad. Some of these bits we can keep, and some are going to be difficult to get rid of anyway. So I'm going to keep these ones. This will be tough because it's got its own little like cliff itself coming off of it. So for now, I'm going to leave it. And having a look at it, do we think that's a little bit too high? Possibly. I think that needs to drop down a little bit. It looks a little bit too over the top in its height. So we're going to drop that corner down, and again now we've got this terrain to play with, but a bit easier. We'll copy that, push it out. And then it's almost like you're pushing away, like if you've ever tried to put a window sticker on, you're trying to remove the bubbles. You've got to think of it in that sort of way almost. So we're basically pushing what we don't want further away from where it can't be resolved, like so. And then we're squeegeing it, I guess, in a sense, away from the zone. That's the way I think of it anyway. Like this will be a bit more difficult because it's on different terrains, but we'll still try. Let's push these out. Each time I'm right clicking to get the right height that it was on. like so, and then we're going to push it up. There we go. So it's like it actually worked out a bit better than I thought. Much better than I thought, actually. So that's that corner done, and I probably think we'll do one more stream this week where we can complete the other parts of the cliffs, because there's only these bits here to do and a few little corner ones. And I think then we can start working on the next stage of the build, which is putting down the rural roads and farmlands. So I think we're going to leave it there for today, guys. So I'm going to give it a quick save. And obviously welcome any questions you may have before I dart off. But I think things are slowly taking shape now. We're getting some good looks on these cliffs. I mean, the map itself is going to be more about the looks of these beautiful cliffs, and obviously what I build on it. But in terms of a map, that's what its selling point is all these beautiful cliffs. And yeah, I think we're slowly getting somewhere. It is looking rather realistic now, changing these up. And also the rivers we've worked on today as well, I think they look really nice. Much more neater having these slim rivers coming through now. So yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you all very much for joining. We've done a, what's it been, 2.5 hour stream? Yeah, nearly 2.5 hour stream. Thank you all very much for your time of popping in, even if it's only for 5 minutes. It's always good to hear from you and see you. Certainly if you're a follower of the channel, it's always nice to catch the regulars, and also you guys that are fresh and new to the channel and just found me on YouTube or Twitch. If you do enjoy what you've seen today, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe, follow, whatever it is, whatever platform you're watching on. But most of all, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that thumbs up button, because it does really help the channel grow and it costs you nothing. And as you can hear, the dog in the background is squeaking his toy, which means that he wants to go out and have his food. So I'm going to say goodbye now, guys. Thank you all for popping by. I'll see you again soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you then. Thanks for watching, and all the best.